The story begins in a remote and dangerous mountainous region of Ethiopia, Africa. Tall grass surrounds the area. Hidden in this grass, pressed close to the ground, are two American snipers. One of them is named Bobby Swagger, and with him is his trusted partner and spotter, Donnie. Their mission is clear: to provide cover fire so their army convoy can retreat safely. They wait for a long time. Bobby and Donnie remain perfectly still. Finally, in the distance, they see their army convoy approaching. It seems like everything will go smoothly, but then, suddenly, the situation changes. An enemy vehicle equipped with a machine gun speeds toward them. If this vehicle starts firing, the entire convoy could be destroyed in an instant. Donnie calmly begins his work. He calculates the wind speed, distance, and bullet trajectory with precision, guiding Bobby with exact instructions. Bobby Swagger steadies his sniper rifle, lines up through the scope, and fires. The bullet hits, and the enemy holding the machine gun falls dead. But the danger is far from over. Suddenly, a large enemy convoy emerges from behind. The situation has become even more perilous. Without panicking, Bobby takes aim again. His first shot hits the enemy operating the machine gun. The second shot strikes the driver directly. The vehicle goes out of control and flips over. Bobby is truly the king of marksmen. Every shot hits its mark. Yet the enemies still have no idea where the sniper is hiding. In fear, they stop their vehicles and start firing recklessly towards the mountain. Bullets rain from all directions. Now, Bobby and Donnie realize that they could be captured at any moment. Bobby immediately calls for backup from the foreign command center, but the response is shocking. The commander orders the radio connection to be cut. In this way, two brave soldiers risking their lives for their country are abandoned like pawns. Meanwhile, an enemy helicopter arrives at the scene. Bobby and Donnie clearly understand that the world has abandoned them. Suddenly, bullets fly wildly, and Bobby watches in horror as his best friend, Donnie, is killed right in front of his eyes. The death of his friend breaks Bobby's heart. Filled with grief and rage, Bobby lifts his heavy Barrett sniper rifle and opens fire on the helicopter. Bullets hit, but the helicopter remains unharmed. Now, the helicopter moves straight toward Bobby in anger. But at the right moment, Bobby takes careful aim. One perfect shot, and the helicopter crashes from the sky, destroyed. Bobby manages to survive. However, after this incident, he is completely disillusioned with the system. For the next 3 years, Bobby lives in hiding deep in the forest, leading a free life away from the world. But luck cannot save anyone forever. One day, some men in suits approach him. Among them is Colonel Johnson. He awards Bobby the country's highest honor, the Congressional Medal of Honor, and then briefs him on a highly critical mission. According to intelligence, a dangerous sniper is planning to assassinate the president from a distance of 1,600 meters. For this mission, they need Bobby's skill and experience to identify possible locations. At first, Bobby refuses, but when it comes to patriotism and the nation's interests, his heart softens. Still, Bobby is not foolish. Before departing, he cleverly notes the engine number of their car, which will prove useful later. To test the plan, Bobby takes a test shot from 1,600 meters away from a mountain. As the bullet hits, a box explodes with a loud bang. This clearly proves that assassination from such a distance is possible. But Bobby anticipates the enemy's cunning. Before departing, he removes a critical part, the firing pin trigger, from his rifle. Afterwards, Bobby reaches Washington. Using his expertise, he inspects several locations between Baltimore and Philadelphia. Finally, in Philadelphia, he identifies 6 potential spots, with the most dangerous and accurate location being a church bell tower. Bobby delivers his full investigation report to Colonel Johnson. Bobby thinks his work is done, and he is finally out of trouble. But then, Johnson reveals something new. On the day of the event, Bobby must be present as a spotter. Bobby is stunned for a moment. He does not yet realize that he is being trapped in a deadly snare. The day of the assassination arrives. The atmosphere feels unusually tense. From the start, Bobby senses that something is wrong. Suddenly, a short-statured police officer approaches his hiding spot. His gun belt hangs loose, and his eyes keep darting around. Bobby is suspicious, but he does not know that the real gunman is in the church tower, setting up his rifle precisely according to Bobby's earlier parameters. The wind direction, humidity, and temperature are all perfect for sniping. Bobby tries to warn over the radio, but by then it was too late. Suddenly, a shot is fired. An Ethiopian archbishop standing about 70 centimeters from the president is killed by the bullet. At the same moment, the short police officer shoots Bobby twice. In an instant, everything changes. The man who was a national hero moments ago is now accused of the president's assassination and becomes the country's #1 most wanted criminal. Once again, the nation has betrayed him. Despite being injured, Bobby keeps his anger under control. Chaos erupts all around. Police helicopters begin pursuing him from the air. To trap him, his sniper rifle is left behind at the scene, placing all blame on him. While fleeing, Bobby encounters a rookie FBI agent, Nick Memphis. Bobby pretends to surrender for a moment, but does not harm Nick. Instead, he explains clearly that he's been set up in a conspiracy. Then, Bobby takes Nick's car and escapes. The police continue to chase him. Bobby drives into a car wash, retrieves a medical kit from the back seat, cleans his wounds, and stops the bleeding. As he steps outside, he's spotted by the police. Surrounded by a truck ahead and blocked by the police, Bobby has only one escape route. He suddenly puts the car in reverse and speeds into a cold river. The police and helicopters search the river for almost half an hour, but they find no trace of Bobby. Finally, everyone assumes that Bobby has drowned. But the truth is different. Clinging to a sand-carrying boat, he manages to get out. His body is riddled with bullets and blood flows constantly. For treatment, he goes into a supermarket, but the moment he sees the TV screen, his heart skips a beat. His picture is on TV as the country's most wanted criminal. Understanding the situation, Bobby quickly acts. He grabs aluminum foil from the trash and creates a short circuit. The entire supermarket plunges into darkness. Taking advantage of the darkness, he collects syringes, medicines, and essential supplies. Then he goes to a public restroom, self-administers a saline solution, and treats his wounds. At every step, his military training, patience, and intelligence are evident. After treatment, Bobby decides to go to the only place he trusts. At the door, he knocks on the home of Sarah, the girlfriend of his fallen friend, Tony. Sarah opens the door and instantly recognizes Bobby. She knows he is the most wanted man. Yet, after a brief hesitation, she lets him in. Sarah had never met Bobby before, but the flowers Tony sent every year assured her that this man could not be evil. Bobby provides a list of medicines, and Sarah quietly gathers them from different places to treat him. Meanwhile, rookie FBI agent Nick Memphis, investigating the case, begins to think deeply. Questions arise in his mind. How could such a perfect sniper miss by 70 centimeters? Why would a professional killer leave his rifle by the window? When Nick tries to interrogate the small police officer, he learns that the man had committed suicide. All leads are gone. Now Nick is obsessed with finding the truth. Under Sarah's care, Bobby slowly starts to recover. Then he tells Sarah that he wants to meet Nick. Sarah secretly sends a photo of Johnson's car to Nick for investigation. In reality, Bobby is testing Nick. If Nick destroys the photo, he is dishonest. If he investigates, he is trustworthy. Bobby watches the situation from outside. Then some police officers come to interrogate him. As they try to draw their guns, Bobby throws iced coffee on one, uses another as a shield to toss down the stairs, and when a third FBI agent draws his weapon, Bobby disarms him and escapes. The next day, Nick's investigation makes Johnson suspicious. Seeing the attack location and the photo site match, he becomes convinced that Bobby and Nick are together. Meanwhile, Nick is certainly kidnapped on the street, brutally beaten, and prepared to be framed for suicide using special restraints and the gun. But at the right moment, Bobby arrives, eliminates everyone one by one, and rescues Nick. Nick suggests they should follow the legal route, but Bobby responds that the law is for ordinary people. Johnson and the powerful people behind him are above the law. They must be dealt with strictly. Another reason adds urgency. They had killed Bobby's dog. For Nick, returning to the police is now almost impossible. The two join forces. To reach the real killer, they meet an old gun expert. He explains that very few people in the world can make precise shots from 3,000 meters. Besides Bobby, one works for money and the other is injured and in a wheelchair. Then Bobby remembers that Johnson always had a limping advisor with him. Using his contacts, Nick locates the advisor. Then they buy chemicals and pipes from a supermarket and assemble remote bombs and napalm bombs at home. They reach the limping man's house. Nick silently eliminates the guards outside, and Bobby takes out the guards inside. The limping man confesses the truth. Johnson is just a pawn. The real mastermind is Senator Meacham. 2.5 years ago, the senator orchestrated the massacre of 400 villagers for a petrol pipeline. Bobby's mission was to cover up this genocide, and the bishop was about to reveal the truth during the president's speech, which is why he was killed. Meanwhile, dozens of armed men surround the house. The limping advisor realizes he was also just a pawn. Before dying, he asks if Bobby will kill him and shoots himself. Bobby tries to exit, taking down one enemy and fighting another. Outside, a sonic bomb explodes. Bobby comes out with an automatic rifle, spreading fire with a napalm bomb. Many enemies are burned. Then a helicopter arrives, opening fire. Nick deliberately draws the helicopter's attention towards himself, while Bobby shoots a distant fuel tank. The explosion destroys the helicopter midair. They manage to escape. To secure Sarah, Bobby contacts Johnson directly. He demands her safety in exchange for the recording before the limping man's death. Johnson agrees. They decide to meet in the snowy mountains of Montana for the deal. Senator Meacham arrives as a mediator. On a distant hill, Bobby advances with his rifle. Suddenly, a shot is fired, and Bobby falls to the ground. Johnson had already deployed a sniper. Meacham, thinking Bobby is about to die, is relieved. But then the situation turns. A sniper hiding in the distance is killed with a headshot, and at that moment, the fallen Bobby rises. In reality, this was a planned maneuver. Nick, wearing a steel plate, acted as bait so that the enemy sniper would fire, revealing his location for Bobby. The moment the sniper fired, Bobby eliminated him with a single shot. Before the enemy could react, the second sniper is also killed. A third sniper spots Bobby through his scope, but a slight reflection gives him away, and this becomes his last mistake. The third sniper is eliminated as well. Now only the man holding Sarah hostage remains. Bobby carefully takes aim, ensuring no harm comes to her. He fires a precise shot and reaches Sarah. He does not kill the man because he wants him alive to prove his innocence. But Sarah's anger can no longer be contained. She grabs a fallen gun and empties the entire magazine into him. Shortly after, an FBI helicopter arrives. Bobby pulls out the recording pen containing all the truth and burns it, knowing that if it leaked, not just a few, but the entire country would be in danger. Now it is not just a question of truth, but of national honor. Meanwhile, Johnson escapes via helicopter and Bobby is captured. With Nick's help, Bobby receives a partially fair trial. In court, in front of the Justice Department, Nick hands Bobby a bullet under the pretext of a handshake. Bobby admits the rifle belongs to him. Then he loads the rifle and aims it directly at Johnson. Johnson panics. Bobby pulls the trigger, but the gun does not fire. He then explains that he removes the firing pin after each use. From the outside, the rifle looks perfect, but cannot shoot. The message is clear. If the rifle cannot fire, it could not have killed the bishop. Later, Nick presents evidence from the Ethiopian village massacre case, but the law becomes a technical loophole. The judge rules that crimes committed abroad cannot be tried in a U.S. court, and Johnson is released. However, the judge tells Bobby some deep truths, helping him see the path forward. That night, Johnson and Senator Meacham celebrate their victory, laughing without remorse, having taken lives through power. Suddenly, Johnson is shot in the neck. Frightened, he turns off the lights and tries to flee. As he exits, his car explodes. Senator Meacham attempts to hide, but finds Bobby standing before him like death itself. Bobby kills one guard, shoots another in the leg. A guard pleads for mercy, but Bobby eliminates him too. Meacham tries to assert his power, claiming, "I am a U.S. senator." Bobby calmly replies, "Exactly." Then he shoots the gas pipe, causing a massive explosion. Power, corruption, and lies turn to ashes. In the distance, Sarah waits for Bobby in a car. He arrives, they get in, and escape the world where fighting the system costs lives. They finally live a simple, peaceful, and happy life. Thus, the story ends. So friends, if you like this story, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.